Ascension Pioneers. I'm currently guided to record a sequence of videos that are focusing on how to live our lives in the new, on different segments of our living realities. So these will be shorter videos because my longer videos take a while to update and to edit and everything. So I just want to focus on different segments, because my main purpose here is to guide into the new. A lot of people, we all have different purpose, we all have a different, note and array of incarnation. But for me, it's all about those souls who are ascending and are choosing to shift their perspective and they're changing physically and how to live their realities. So this first video that I want to dedicate to this sequence is about how to consciously focus on our emanations. So becoming aware of our purpose, of our connection, and then doing it more consciously, because a lot of us are expanding in a way that is more natural to us. But also what we require is that focused devotion to doing it more consciously. When you become aware of your connection that you have with a particular aspect of creation and what you're here to emanate, focusing on emanating that out, it becomes really important in this part of the journey. And I wish to share a very short example of mine because, as you know, I'm very connected to the mountains, to the realm of mineral kingdom, the stones. And when I'm looking for my stones with which I'm creating with them, not just my art, but in my sacred space. And what I'm guided to do now as well is to share these stones with others who are gonna, order my art as a personal service. And I want to grid the light this way. And I do a lot of gridding the light through these sacred stones. And this is how I consciously choose to emanate my light. Recently we were coming a lot to this mountain beach, and I was guided to create this sign that says you're not alone, for random bypassers. You never know how you might trigger somebody into their divine remembrance. But it's doing things more consciously, being aware. You're making a certain creation, and you're not just doing it subconsciously, but you're becoming more aware, because this is how you channel more frequency of the divine that comes through. So recently through the stones, they all have like a different nature. Some of them here are some of them are more white, like crystalline white. Some of them are like shiny. They have a lot of crystalline nature in them. Some of them are like pointy. You can use them to make pendulums, and they all have a different theme. Some of them are like, when you see them, some of them are big. You create a sculpture, or I'm guided to paint them or something like that. But recently I was also using them in my crystal wands, and this is the recent one that I did. It has Mother Gaia frequency and the frequency of the elemental kingdom as well. So this wand that I created, when I was doing it, because of this connection, I was more consciously tuning into it, and I kept hearing the word Balin. I was like, Balin, and I remembered, in the Hobbit movies, Balin is the name of one of the dwarves. So this is how these little creatures came to tell me that the dwarf, kingdom is here, and they're kind of supporting me. So they were helping me when I was creating the energy for this wand and what it reflects. Because it has like a jade, like a Gaia, green, brownish frequency kind of crystal. And then I was also guided to use the stone shaped in a heart, and the colors green and red, and a few of the crystals hanging here, and just like that. And then we were looking at it, and my mother said to me, well, I can see a dwarf in it, and literally when you look at it like that from a certain angle, you can see it. So this was like a little confirmation how connected we are, and to these aspects of being that are assisting us. And truly, like that sign says, we're not alone. So my example, which is all that I can really share, is the more that I became connected to the aspect of knowing why and where this connection with the mountains comes from, the more aware I'm becoming of it, so the more consciously I emanate that frequency out, and I put it into everything that I do. And in this path of ascension, this becomes, like I said, really important for us, and this is how we want to do things. So I was recently writing the connection with the stones that I have in the mountains, and this was after I was reading the Convoluted Universe book, part 3, and it was shared about the ocean and how the ocean was first created on Earth, and how certain beings were participating in that creation. So I was picking, through the stones on my beach, and it's never random. I don't just pick them up. I really focus focus on becoming connected with the frequency that wants to come through. You know, it's funny when you work with this elemental kingdom, and you really can hear them, you can feel them. They're like, pick me, and you're like, oh gosh, you know, they're so playful, they're so lively. Everything is alive, as you know. And this is how they want to be a part of this. They want to grid the light. They want to assist us. And when I was doing this, I was getting some of the answers about my connection. So this is what I wrote down. The creation of realms and worlds, as you know, was taking place in the segments in different particular aspects of creation. And each aspect of source or group collective was building and co-creating different aspects of creation. And we all have a part of this inside, these co-creator essences. This is why the affinity to a particular part of creation is expressed. And we might feel, you know, somebody has an affinity to ocean, somebody to the forest, you know. And mountains, for me, for example, they hold the energy of mineral kingdom, well, in general. But why I feel them so much is because of my sacred connection with them. So the crystals and stones, how they play a part in this. The crystalline core in the middle, as you know, it's the same with the pyramids. In the middle of each of them, you have a crystal, and the crystalline core is in the middle point. And then what you have externally around it, you know, what builds the whole mountain. And the stone that comes down is a stream, you know, and then, you know, flowing through the rivers. It's like the water flows the information, but the stones are gridding the light, you know, through different aspects. So you have a crystalline core in the middle of each, and then the upper region of the stones acts as a carrier and conductor of that energy. So when I'm taking the stones and I'm using them in my art, I'm actually consciously emanating that forth in a very tangible physical form. And they carry the frequency of the inner, and they carry it forward, you know, that which is inner, because they're one with it, they carry it forward. And they move the energy. So it's kind of like creating the light grid. So that's why there is this need within to share and create and send across the world. You know, like I received the guidance, these sacred stones. And they're carriers of energy and information. So they kind of act like tiny conductors, tiny activators. And a lot of people say that about crystals, but for me, you know, it's not just the crystals. Because a lot of times what we do with the crystals, how people pick them, you know, it's a very violent procedure. But the stones, they're naturally here, and they already carry that energy. So when you have a mountaintop, and you can imagine they have a crystalline core in the middle, but that same energy goes upwards, and it moves in a spiral, and all these stones, they come down to the valley, they kind of carry the energy forward. So this is one example, and I wanted to share my example, and I would like you to focus on sitting down with your presence, kind of feeling what's true for you. What is your conscious emanation, becoming more conscious of that, and this is part of you. It is really important. So this is the first aspect that I felt really important to talk about, and we'll see what comes next, okay?